Welcome to Anuradhapura, the ancient capital of Sri Lanka. Anuradhapura was the first stop on our 3 weeks itinerary in Sri Lanka. In this quick video, I'll show you what to expect in this beautiful old city of Sri Lanka, dating back to the 3rd century BC. We had landed in Colombo the night before, and the next morning, at 5:45 a.m. to be precise, we took a train from Colombo Fort to Anuradhapura. It is about 205 kilometers away. We had booked the train ahead, but I really don't think you need to. You could just turn up at the train station and buy it there. This is our little hotel. I think it was about £11 a night, if I remember right. It was a lovely little hotel where the boss seemed to be quite into antiques. He had a collection inside. All the points of interest in Anuradhapura are quite spread out, all the temples and all that. So it's difficult to tell you the best place to stay, as you'd probably need to rent a bicycle anyway. Or mopeds, or hire a tuk-tuk. We had just rented bicycles when it started pouring down, tropical rain. Luckily they understood why we gave the bicycles back. We took a tuk-tuk to the first temple and then did everything on foot. We had only a day in Anuradhapura and not even a full day, so we probably saw only half of what there is to see. Ooh, crocodiles. For all the temples, you'll be expected to go barefoot. And the shoekeeper outside will be expecting a little donation. We decided not to go and visit the ancient city itself, because it would have cost us $30, and it would have taken the whole day, really. So we went and explored 6 or 7 of the temples that are free, or almost free. Oh, bats! Now, as opposed to my friend, I'm not a huge fan of temples. I like them, but I get quickly bored. In a place like Anuradhapura, it's very easy for me to get a temple overdose. Luckily, we had some of the wildlife. Those little mammals were entertaining me. We had bats, squirrels, and monkeys. Anuradhapura is full of history, because it was the first capital of the country. Today, everyone tends to believe that the capital of Sri Lanka is Colombo. There are actually 2 capitals at the moment. But the legislative capital is not Colombo. It's actually a city called Sri Lankan. Apologies if I've butchered that. It's not far from Colombo. You'll see a lot of big tour groups coming from everywhere to visit those temples. The vast majority of them are French, as well as a few Russians. When visiting Sri Lanka, most people go to the south coast. We did as well. Actually, Anuradhapura was the further north we've been in this trip. Now, in the temples, you'd have to be barefoot. If you happen to have sensitive feet, it could be a little painful. On some occasions you have to walk on gravels and stuff. And also it was very wet everywhere, with hundreds of people stepping right behind one another. Potentially not ideal in terms of feet fungi or verruca infection transmissions. I'm always a bit paranoid when I have to step into stagnant waters that a lot of people would have crossed before. Anyway, look, a little friend in the tree. He's got a black face, so I think he's a grey langur. I absolutely love monkeys. Or should I say, I absolutely love them. I know, I shouldn't try any puns with my accent. You probably don't even notice them. Anyway, this is an Indian palm squirrel. You can tell because of the stripes on his back. A lot of people call them chipmunks. They are not chipmunks. Chipmunks are in America, I think, and their tails are a bit shorter. Different species. The weather was really bad. It was raining on and off all day, but that led to beautiful skies. It was not the raining season, but we did have a bit of tropical rain anyway. I mean, it is a tropical country, so it is to be expected. Now, this was the royal gardens. That's where the kings used to come and pool. That's where they'll come and meet young ladies. You know, that was before Tinder. Sri Lanka is a very old country. The oldest human remains found in Sri Lanka, the bones of a man that has been dubbed Balaganda man, date back to 38,000 years ago. Now, rain again. Time to shelter for a little coffee. By the way, in many places in Sri Lanka, white coffee would cost you more than a black one. So you might want to think twice before asking for that drop of milk. That's a little kit for betel nut chewing. Very addictive. Ah, another macaque on the roof. We then went to visit this beautiful temple here that is dedicated to tell you the life of Buddha through illustrations. Buddha, that was actually called Siddhartha Gautama, was a small noble that lived in South Asia in the 6th century BCE. After being enlightened, he became a religious teacher. Those are the local buses. They're actually quite dangerous. They often drive like crazy. Now, as we mentioned earlier, Anuradhapura is one of the oldest continuously occupied cities in Asia. But don't expect Pompeii. A lot of it has actually been rebuilt. And stonemasons are still working on it today, as you can see. Anuradhapura also had one of the most complex irrigation systems in the ancient world. If you don't want to be walking all day from temple to temple, you can also hire a tuk-tuk. They'll take you to all those free temples. They're not all free. Some of them charge, but it's really not much. Yeah, time for monkey business again. There are so many of them. Some of the locals, like this gentleman here, they actually throw rocks at them to kick them away. Because they'll come and steal your stuff if you have any snacks or anything. Anyway, yeah, if you wanted to hire a tuk-tuk to take you to all of the temples and give you snippets of information, that would cost you about 3,000 rupees, about £8. Now, this is, according to legend, one of the oldest trees in the world. It is a very sacred tree, where people come and put coins, wishing for the best in the future. The tree is believed to be over 2,000 years old. It is said to have grown from a cutting from the tree under which Buddha received his enlightenment. Those little characters, they represent the little persons that were entertaining the king at the time. Now let's take a look at more little mammals. Indian palm squirrels again. They are a bit more wild, or at least more shy than the squirrels we have in London. Those probably won't come and eat from your hands. They're so cute. I want to take one home. Now, when you come to those places, you probably want to make sure you remember where you left your shoes. Some of those places have different entrances, so it's very easy to lose your shoes. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we did not have time to go to Anuradhapura Old City, the World Heritage Site. So if you wanted to see everything around here, you probably want to stay for 2 days. Hey, mate! Hey, mate! That's another grey langur, but he doesn't want to be a YouTube sensation. And here is a little egret, I think. So yeah, the old city itself, sadly, you cannot see much of it at all if you don't pay the $30 to go for the visit. $30, I know it's not that much, but for Sri Lankan standard, it is a lot of money. So you cannot see it at all. It's not like, if you compared it to the Eiffel Tower, you can just go and see it, and then you can decide whether you want to go up or not and pay. But with the ancient city, you cannot see anything at all without buying a ticket. We were able to find a little street where you had a bit of a view, but it's very restricted. And here's another primate example of grey langur. I know, stop the puns. I just love them. I could spend hours just looking at monkeys, which kind of annoyed my friend. Moving on, the first king to rule the full country of Sri Lanka, it is King Dutukamuna. I think he is the one that had this stupa built. This temple is surrounded by 344 elephants. King Dutukamuna has an interesting background story. His mother was a princess that had been sent on a boat at sea as a sacrifice to appease a storm, to appease the water. She wasn't meant to be back, but she survived. She landed on the coast where she married the local king. Their son, Dutukamuna, was able to rule and unite the full country. Since the monkeys are having a snack, time for a snack for ourselves. This is one of the most popular street foods in Sri Lanka. This is an egg hopper. They usually cost less than 200 rupees. They're usually about 40p in British pounds. It's like a bowl-shaped, savory crepe with an egg on top. You can also have a plain hopper without the egg. The little triangle thing on the left inside, that's a veggie roti. These are toque macaques, I think. They look like they have a little haircut.
Wow. So many of you guys. Yummy, yummy.
There's one on the electric cable up there. Now let me show you something very creepy. That's a dead bat. Mummified. I guess she got an electric shock or something. Time to jump into a tuk-tuk to get back into town. And let me show you what I found. This is a colonial letterbox. Now, the fondery is probably local from Sri Lanka, but they look very similar to the ones in the UK. And look, G6R. That is for George's VI Rex. These are the more modern post boxes with the Sri Lankan lion as a crest. So after the independence of 1948. George's VI Rex, Rex being Latin for king. It is George VI, Queen Elizabeth II's dad, the one with the stammer. So it dates back to British times. Time for a drink, arak. The arak is the local liquor. It tastes a bit like rum. And that is the next morning, time to jump on a bus towards Trincomalee. The local buses are quite cheap in Sri Lanka, but they get really busy and sometimes they drive really fast. You can pop your luggage at the front by the driver. Remember not to sit right behind the driver, because those seats are actually reserved for clergy, the monks. If you are worried about accidents, don't worry. The bus is blessed by Jesus, Buddha, Allah, Ganesha. That's the Hindu god looking like an elephant. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you check out my other videos of Sri Lanka. Bye!